think I don't know because last minute I don't know whether they are available. It's okay.
Ni pengen ni ke ni. Nah, dia sini.
Bicara.
Dr. Uma. But there's one gentleman from my side want to join. How can actually I send you the email? I send you to the phone, the email.
Sorry?
You need his email to access, right? To send him the link, right? One of the
They need to go to a website. I'll give you the link, and then they can click directly.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just give it to you.
So I check the group chat the link.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's in the group chat actually. Yes.
It's the same link, right?
Yeah. It links to the website. Yeah.
It's the same link as yesterday, right?
Correct. Correct.
Check.
So it's the cell.u.my/webinar TVET Digital Revolution 2022 Series 1. So they click that link and then they will see the day 2's poster, and then there will be the 3 topics for today. So you just click the first topic and then you can come in.
The webinar, the TVET Digital Revolution 2, right?
Correct.
Okay. Can. Thank you.
No problem. 1 more minute to go. I'll introduce the both of you, yeah, Mr. and Mr. Fou. I'll introduce the both of you.
Yes, please. Thank you.
And also I have to pinjam 1 minute to do a recap of what happened yesterday, yeah. So I did to present. I just want to do a recap from what happened yesterday. I think that is what happened. So Dr. Zainal Ashar bin Zainal Abidin, Director of Instructional and Digital Learning Division, Honorable Directors of the FUIR, Polytechnics and Community Colleges, distinguished panel speakers, lecturers from Polytechnics and Community Colleges, webinar participants, the dedicated organizing team behind the TVET Digital Revolution, Innovative Teaching and Learning for Industry Changes due to Industry 4.0. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. Welcome to Day 2 of TVET Digital Revolution, Innovative Teaching and Learning for Industry Changes due to Industry 4.0 webinar. Firstly, let me introduce myself. I am Dr. Umawathy, your moderator for today. I'm from the Instructional Unit, Instructional and Digital Learning Division, Department of Polytechnic and Community College Education, Ministry of Higher Education of Malaysia. I'm speaking to you live from our sub-studio in Putrajaya. Before we start, I would like to invite everyone to recite the dua together and observe a moment of silence to seek for blessings from the Almighty for the success of our webinar today. Distinguished webinar participants, Malaysia needs to evolve and innovate continuously in order to become a digital nation that is prosperous and resilient. Digitalization, technology adoption, and innovation are essential in ensuring a sustainable economic growth. Now, in the 12th Malaysia Plan, Policy Enabler 2, Chapter 11, Boosting Digitalization and Advanced Technology, focuses on accelerating digitalization and promoting the adoption of new and advanced technology in all sectors. This means the supply of talent and skills required to drive both the digital economy and 4IR technology adoption will increase. Allow me to recap the incredible sessions we had yesterday for just a couple of minutes. Yesterday morning, we started off the webinar series this week with an opening speech from Dr. Zainal Ashar bin Zainal Abidin, the Director of the Instructional and Digital Learning Division of DPCCE. Now, during the first slot, we listened to Prof. Ramli Mustafa from UPSI, who touched on the potential of 4IR enabling technologies. During the second slot, I shared my take on using data science, 3D printing, IoT, and AR, VR, and MR for teaching and learning in TVET courses based on the most recent empirical studies. I also proposed a framework on flipping your class with 4IR technologies and learn and work assignments. In the afternoon, we had two fruitful sessions with speakers from abroad. Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Isaac Santelli and Dr. Yusra Rajabali shared on scenario-based learning and its potential applications in the class. Right after that, we had Ms. Corinne Sonigo from ILO and Mr. Stefano Marante from ITC ILO, which is the International Training Center for the International Labour Organization, and they shared with us on maximizing the use of technologies to deliver digital TVET and blended TVET. The team and I sincerely believe that all the sessions yesterday had ignited more ideas on innovative teaching and learning skills among the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, In the 12th Malaysia Plan for the TVET sector, emerging technologies will be leveraged to complement existing hands-on teaching and learning activities as well as R&D conducted in laboratories and workshops. However, the potential question here is, how can we make learning more meaningful for students? Now, to answer these questions, we have with us today Mr. Swee Min, the head of Division of Didactic, who manages learning system business to all the institutes in the country and manages the training and seminar business to the industry. Mr. Ng has 26 years working experience with Festo, starting as a project engineer back in 1996. He received his Bachelor of Science BSc in Microelectronics and Physics from Campbell University, North Carolina, USA in 1995. Hi, Mr. Ng.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Umar.
We also have here with us Mr. Fou Teck, who is currently the Educational Services Manager in the training and consulting business across Asia Pacific countries for Festo Sdn. He's also experienced in designing and developing specific training programs to fulfill the training requirements for upskilling the industry workforce. He has 22 years working experience in Festo in various functions such as technical support, industrial automation sales, project management, and product marketing for Southeast Asia region. He also has 2 years teaching experience in a polytechnic in Singapore and has led Singapore in WorldSkills London Competition 2011. He received his bachelor degree in electrical engineering from the University of Newcastle in Australia. Thank you, Mr. Ng and Mr. Fou, for taking time off to do this sharing session for the benefit of lecturers at Malaysian polytechnics and community colleges. Over to you, Mr. Ng and Mr. Fou.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for the great opening from Dr. Umar and also introduction for Festo team. Thank you very much. And today we shall start our session. And together with me is Mr. Fou, and we'll join the presentation, which I will start first. Can you go to the next slide, Fou? So for the agenda for today will be, first I'll start with the introduction to Festo and also CDTI. The secondly, I'll touch on the overview of Festo learning portfolio. Learning portfolio means what actually training equipment we have for Industry 4.0. And Mr. Fou will take over for holistic learning approach. And of course, the last session will be Q&A session. All right. And the brief introduction of Festo as a group is actually, we are actually the German-based company, and we have a focus on this industrial automation and also education. All right, so focus to Malaysia, we actually started in around 1978 in Malaysia. So they actually the second South Asia after Manila. So Festo has been in Malaysia, I think it's more than 40 years, right? And this is our head office. It's actually in Kota Damansara. It's actually very near to Segi College. And right now we have about 90 employees. And of course, we have branches in Penang, Malacca, and Johor. They are actually mainly focused to service the industry sector because they have to be close to the factory. All right. So what we mean is actually Festo in two divisions where we have industrial automation and also didactic. And as you see, industrial automation actually offer product and solutions and service is mainly to improve the performance of the production and the machine. And of course, we do have a education sector which is didactic to actually bring up the competency of people, because we believe that customer, in order to make the productions effectively, not only they need a high performance production line, they also need the high competency people to actually operate it to be successful. Okay, that is our training room. So we have do training to public in our office, and we do go to the factory side to do the in-house training. And normally we only limited 12 to 18 person for a class. because our topic is actually mainly on the TVET topic, which is pneumatic hydraulic PLCs, and we actually focus on practical a lot, which 70% on practical and 30% on theory. All right. So this briefly what our customer, and you can see Nestle, B Brown, all those are actually the customer from industry. And if you see the institute, the local institute and universities, and for those who actually have a TVET syllabus, normally it's actually our customers. All right. And one of the highlight and also achievement of Festo is actually we has been with World Skills since 1991. We start with mechatronic competition, and right now we have already few competition as shown in here. We have water technology, polymechanic, and automation. And the latest one, which will be the first competition in Industry 4.0, will be organized in Shanghai this year, because I think they supposed to be last year, because due to COVID they postponed to this year. That will be joined, presented by Festo and Siemens, right? And these are certification for World Didactic and also the competition. So we've been here for a long time. And what we involvement in Industry 4? The first thing actually, we have a team to do the training for the people, to qualify the people to be able to handle the Industry 4 topics with our training factory, which is built according to the industry needs. All right. So how we actually learn our build the training equipment similar to industry environment, because we have one production line in Festo Sdn headquarters itself. We have one production line which produce a solenoid valve with I4.0. So from that we gain experience, and we can design the topic together with the education topics. All right. So what is the industry topic equipment? We actually you can actually expand it to a few steps. For example, for the user that who want to cover the simple topic, basic topic, they actually can get the application module. After that, they can actually expand it to a conveyor. Then you put it as CP module. Then let's say, for example, you want to form a production line, you can actually do it in CP combination. And you can actually put it is the most complex situation as what you've seen in the factory, where you involve production and everything. Okay. You can actually combine all these four systems in one system, and we can actually combine all the topic in one system, and which we call it CP factory. And for the CP factory, the training content actually range from you can see the production, where you actually have a CNC machine. You can see an assembly line. Then you can see a quality assurance. You can do it topic on lean production and logistic, and the most important software actually is ERP MES. And you can use a GV to transfer the parts accordingly with fully automated system. Okay. That is a basic core element that the topic will cover via this system. Of course, you're talking about Industry 4.0, you cannot run away from PLC, smart sensor, IoT, RFID, and next. And you can see all the things the system can allow the user to implement the AR, VR, and also can cover the topic on smart maintenance, where you can get all the data via the mobile and also the tablets. Okay. And you can actually put the system in different scenario. For example, you want to put it is a fully automated production system. You can swap the module to any position you like, then it still work. All right. Look at the scenario 1, and you can have a scenario 2. if the user, scenario 2, Fou, next please, where if the user would like to put it in a partially automated system, they can actually swap the position without, you just swap the thing, and the system should be recognized itself and run the production accordingly with minimum issue. So of course, you're talking about TVET and we talk about hands-on exercise, and you only have one, you only normally, because the system is expensive, you only can get one in the whole school. And one of the things that give it the chance the student to have a maximum hands-on, they actually can use the simulation software. So normally we have Sero software and also MAS software. Okay. Sero software is a 3D simulation. You can see what it actually display here. You can see the virtual Sero software where actually it simulate the real hardware. So the student can actually do it, the exercise and do hands-on via this simulation software. Right on the left is actually Cyros, on the right is actually MPS. It actually show the status of what the product going through for each process. You can see, you can set your target cycle time. For this example, it show that 2 minutes is to complete whole cycle, and to complete the whole cycle, he have to go through a few application process. You can, the system actually show the duration of each process. You can set your timing. For example, it's actually it's the green color means to say that it's like the cycle actually completed within your set time, predefined time. So you show all the status and you can see monitoring clearly. So for example, should you want to do some specific module to be faster, you can actually see you using the data from there, you can see actually can speed up your production accordingly. Okay, this is a sample of software. So I can go to next. Okay, lastly, of course, from the Cyros, you actually can learn from PLC programming, because you actually can change your program. So the similar software you run according to your sequence accordingly. So you don't need to go through hardware. You can actually pre-test via the software. You can do the factory planning, factory simulation. You can change the module accordingly in the software itself without touching the hardware. Alright, for MBS 4, of course, you learn about the resources definition. You can do the ordering, product definition, and process definition, and you can analyze all the process. Alright, you can actually do the tracking. Of course, then you can do the data collection, where they actually can send this data to your mobile. Next, please.
Usually, I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. So when the data is sent to the mobile, so do they get to analyze the data, and do some predictive maintenance or something like that with the data?
Yes, because normally the superior or the bosses would like to, without go to the factory, they have all those data in hand. And you actually can allow to open up for the customers to track the process. Right? So you can know exactly in what stage of the order now. So they can expect when they can receive the parts. Right? Next, please, Fu. Of course, with all this equipment, we have all those courseware accordingly. And generally, you cover important topic for Industrial 4, which is HMI, RFID, MAS4, PLC, and IoT system. That is hardware access. For example, the user would like to explore more, can get some information here, a part of doing research. So for the next one, maybe Fu can take over.
Okay, thank you, Swee Min. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Swee Min, and good morning, everyone. I'm Fou Teck. I'm based in Singapore. As what Dr. Umar has already explained, my main job scope is basically to design curriculums in response to the market demand, together with our business partners, mostly institutions, and also potentially many times also the Ministry of Education, as well as the trade industry in the country, so that we can design some program which can facilitate the competence development for the industrial workers. Okay, so thanks Raymond for this introductions to the hardware. And now I'm actually going to talk about how are we going to redesign the curriculums and the mode of delivery to make sure that the learning for the participants, basically the learners, it could be anybody from the educational sectors, as well as the industry or working professionals in the industry. Okay, so before I go right into that, let me give a very quick introduction to you what CBTI means. As what I can see on the screen here, CBTI stands for Competence Center for Digitalizations, Technology, and Innovation. And this center is physically set up in Singapore at Festo building. And it is actually the joint training facility between Technical University of Munich in Asia. In short, we call TUM Asia, and Festo Didactic. Yeah. So we came together to offer the combination of the excellence of academic excellence and also the industry know-how from Festo Didactic. And with the support of EDB, we designed new courses to address the need of the skill set required by the industry, especially in the context of Industry 4.0. Yeah. So on the left hand side, you can see Mr. Dr. Marcus Rector. He's the managing director from TVET Asia. Yeah. So TVET Asia basically their programs is focused very much on Bachelor of Engineering and Master degree courses for the graduate in Asia Pac region. And for Festo Didactic, our boss is basically Mr. Volker Smith. We are basically providing, as what Swee Min already mentions, learning systems sales to technical institutions. And other than that, we are also curating training courses for industry so that we can help the industry together with the government in the country to see what kind of skill set required by the industry, and we create those courses accordingly. Yeah. So in a nutshell, the key technologies are basically fluidic power, like pneumatic hydraulic, smart sensor, programming, and Industry 4.0 topic. I'll come into that later. Yeah.
And we're also having Mr. Walker tomorrow, right? We are having a session with him.
Yes.
Right, awesome. So for those of you who are watching this session, please also watch tomorrow. We'll be having him at 2:30 p.m. And Mr. Walker will be sharing on upgrading specific technical competences for industry changes due to changes in Industry 4.0. Yeah. Okay, please continue, Mr. Koo. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So basically, what we aim to do is everything from a single source. We provide support in terms of curricular design with relevant learning systems, or we call it the training equipments. And of course, not only that, we also assist our customers or partners in terms of infrastructure setup. That means setting up the lab, having 3D design prior to physical setup, so that the customer will know exactly what they see is actually what they get. Yeah. Other than the hardware cloud, basically we also provide train the trainers programs to facilitate the trainers in the institutions to be able to teach the relevant curriculums according to the hardware they already got in the center. Yeah. So on the right hand side here, these are some of the examples that we assist our customers globally in setting up their lab, from machining to pneumatic, hydraulic, all the way to Industry 4.0 lab, so that they can immediately take it off and launch training programs for their students. So if we are looking into this Industry 4.0 development, is actually changing a lot of people's job scope, and also how actually the industry is working together, especially in the times of pandemic. I think this digital technology is becoming more and more important. So what we are doing here is we are providing a holistic approach, basically enabling the best environment for learning experience for the learners. It could be the lecturers from institutions, it could be students, and also all the way to industry working professionals from the industry. So in a nutshell, we are providing curriculums design, which is very much linked to what is needed in the industry. So in short, we are basically maintaining industry relevance by integrating new topics into our training portfolio, so that the learners can effectively equip themselves with the necessary knowledge, so that they can support the workforce in the industry when they step up to the for employment. Next is basically the learning method, basically the delivery method. We are adopting the blended kind of learning method, like hybrid version, where you can see there is e-learning, which is a asynchronous method, a platform which allows the students to really learn at their own pace, at their own time, and anyway. Yeah, I'll come to that later. And other than that, we also conduct virtual learning lessons, which is it can be via Zoom, MS Teams, WebEx. This is basically the synchronous learning which we are teaching online, and students actually learning at home. And basically, these two modes are working very well for digital learning without the face-to-face trainings. But lastly, of course, the face-to-face training is definitely will not be replaced entirely by the e-learning, because to some extent we still need to have a face-to-face learning in front of the equipment to really know how to apply those technologies on the equipment. Yeah. So another thing is basically our focus is very much we will be ensuring that, as what Mr. Ng has already mentioned, 70% practical sessions and 30% theory. So the training curriculums we are developing for the industry and also for the institutions very much practical oriented. Yeah, with equipment that Mr. Ng has already shown just now. So the very first thing is when we are talking about digitalizations, everyone is actually looking into digitalization journey. In the industry, they are looking into new technologies in order to help them to see how to make their processes better and more efficient, so that the business performance can improve very much. And of course, in the educational sectors, people are actually looking up into this topic. How can Industry 4.0 be integrated into the existing curriculums? So what we are doing here is we are actually having an ongoing check into the industry. What are the new courses that are required in order to close the competency gap in certain technology? And from there, we are integrating and redesigning the training curriculums with those relevant topics, so that we can be providing the necessary skill set required by the workforce in order for them to move along with the technology advancement. As what I can see on the screen here, we're providing training courses all the way from fundamental technologies. Traditionally, we've been doing this pneumatic systems, hydraulic systems, smart sensor, to mechatronic, and now we have already expanded our training topics to Industry 4.0 related topics like OPCUA, cyber physical systems, notebook programming, or smart sensor, or Internet of Things. Yeah. Okay, so the next thing is e-learning. We focus very much right now on blended learning, especially enabled with a digital learning platform. What you see over here is basically blended learning. It consists of physical and virtual. And virtual, it can be entirely at the pace of the learners, whereby it is basically the asynchronous method. Or it could be also virtual trainings with the trainers conducting training online, and also face-to-face training. So these three modes of trainings has been integrated into our training, and we are trying as much as possible to outreach to the participants in various way, yeah, in the appropriate manner. So the very first one is
yeah, sorry to interrupt, Mr. Fu. So online, does it mean like is it like on a Zoom platform, or do you have like how is it a traditional online thing or?
okay, let me go to the next few slides. I will explain.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good. Thanks.
Okay. Sorry. When we say online means there are two things. The one online is basically the asynchronous, whereby the learner is basically learning at their own pace on a cloud platform. As what I can see here, we call it Festo Learning Experience. This is the cloud platform whereby a lot of training materials has been already uploaded into the cloud platform. So all the learner needs to do is basically to gain access to this platform and start learning whatever courses has been assigned to him. So this is very much the theory learning courses which the learners can learn at any time, anyway, and with computer or mobile devices or iPad at their own time. Yeah. So basically, this Festo Learning Experience (LX) is a subscription model just like Netflix. When the participants are subscribed to this, they can access the whole training portfolio, all the courses already available on the cloud. Yeah, and they can start learning all the training courses. And if they are assigned as a teacher role, they can actually create new courses with whatever existing learning nuggets which is already available online. Yeah, and from there they can assign these new courses or existing courses to the students, and the students can gain access to this platform, and they can start learning this at their own pace. So this is what we call one of the online learning, which is asynchronous. The students can learn at their own pace at their own time. Okay, so let me go to the next one. So what are the available topics available on this platform? You can see that it actually covers from automations, factory automations, all the way to electricity and electronics, process automations, and then we have these renewable energies, communication and radar technologies, which is very much a telecommunication topics. And Industry 4.0 topics is progressively added into the platform. So as long as you gain access to this cloud service, you will be able to use and see all the content available on this platform. So let me quickly go right into this to show you what you can see. So with this URL, anybody can come to this page. If I already have access, I can just log in. If not, you can apply for a free access. Free access basically allows you to see what's available in there, but the learning content you will not be able to see. Yeah. So let me go into this. So I already have access to this, so I just need to log in with my ID system. And now I'm already in this platform. I can start searching. These are some of the courses I already included as my favorite. Okay, and under the search here, you can see there are these topics available in this trade: electricity, electronic, fluid power, industry 4.0, factory automations, all the way down to process automation and logistic. And if I want to know, for example, fluid power, I click this, and there are so many more training courses available, and I just need to choose what I want to learn. Of course, I can do a filter in terms of language. So if I want to know pneumatic actuator, how does it work, or maybe air treatment, all I need to do is to click, and I can immediately start learning entirely at my own pace. And whatever is available here, we as the teachers, we can assign this to the students. Yes. So you can see there is a lot of resources available, which the teachers can assign this to their students, and the students can learn prior to any other class. Okay, so let me stop this, and if I come into this organization's members, these are the members that I already have in my account. I can add in as many as possible according to what is the subscription model that I assign for. If I subscribe for 500 students, then we can have 500 names over here, and the students can log into this and start looking into the courses that they want to learn. Okay, so let me go back to the presentations. By the way, do Dr. Umar have answered questions for this? Hello.
Dr. Umar cannot hear you.
Sorry. There's a question here. They would like there are people who would like to have free access to Festo LX. So I think they can send you an email. Is it, Mr.
Yes, I already put my email in the chat box. So,
Right. So
for those who
the
want
audience
to,
out there,
yep.
if you're interested to getting the free access to Festo LX, it has like, oh my god, so much of information.
Yep, you can
Please
actually
do
see
send
this.
an email to Mr. Yeah.
Okay, I think for free access, you can just log into this URL, and you can immediately request free access online.
Yep.
Yep.
The other option is actually you can log in the email.
Yep. So can I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. So this is one online learning that we are talking about. Then another one is basically the online learning is the virtual trainings, which is we call it the synchronous learning, whereby the learners, the trainers is actually online on one side, and of course through webinar like this, we are conducting these online trainings virtually. Yep. So-called virtually face-to-face with the participants. So, for example, if we are looking to these data visualization with no reprogramming, like what Dr. Umar has already mentioned just now, post questions to Swee Min. With the data, let's say if the engineers want to see some data for maintenance purpose, can they somehow learn how to program using Node-RED and pull data from the PLC from the machine and display on their laptop, on their mobile phone, or on any internet platform, and start seeing this dashboard? So we are basically teaching these data visualizations with no reprogramming, either physically with this machine, in front of this machine. So the learners can come to the training center and learn how to do programming and start pulling data from this with OPCUA. So this is a physical method. Of course, we have extended this training program as an example to be able to be delivered 100% online with the participants staying at home, and we conducting these sessions online, and they will do programming at the laptop, and they link it to this virtual hardware, which is the same as this, and they can start seeing whatever they programs. They will be able to see how the program actually be able to move the machine and also pull data. Yeah. So basically, this is what I'm explaining here. So if I play the video here, you can see that this is the visual programming environment for Node-RED. We can be teaching this programming method 100% online. And this software on the right here is actually the Saros software, which Mr. Ng has already mentioned earlier. This can be pre-installed at the learner's laptop with a temporary license given to them. Once activated, you can see they can program and activate the machines virtually. So without going to this,
correct? It's like a simulation.
It is, yes, it is like a simulations, but programming in the Node-RED programming environment and link it to these systems virtually via OPCUA, the Open Communications Protocol. So basically, programming to be taught online, the learners learn at their own pace at home, and then they can link whatever they're doing over here to this so-called hardware in the Saros software, and they are able to control and also read signals. So this is an example for, let me go. This is an example for online learning, which is synchronous, that the trainers is actually teaching us online. Yeah. So of course, lastly, definitely we are also conducting face-to-face trainings with practical exercises. As well, you can see on the screen here, we have been conducting face-to-face training prior to the pandemic. We have been conducting Industry 4.0 related courses for lecturers in other countries like in Indonesia, in Singapore, in Australia, in Korea. And of course, not only the lecturers, the participants from, some of them actually from Ministry of Trade and Industry. And also we are inviting working professionals like engineering managers, directors from production environment to really have a hands-on exercises on equipment and to teach them about the underlying concept for Industry 4.0. Yeah. So responding to this, the new learning scenarios in the context of Industry 4.0, we're actually combining whatever mode of trainings are available and try to maximize the outreach to the learners. So online plus face-to-face, and we can combine these learning methods as much as possible so that we can give these trainings even during the pandemic time. Yeah. So this is the equipment that we have for this Competence Center for Digitalizations and Technology Innovation, CDTI. And this equipment basically, Mr. Ng has already showed you just now. But let me go quickly to the topics. This is a CP factory, and there are a lot of Industry 4.0 topics, and we are actually working in the ecosystems to see what are the topics required by the industry, and we develop the learning courses from there. Yeah. Okay, so let me just give a quick preview of this center. So this is our center. Of course, with a lot of equipment on the right hand side here, it can be 3.0, and we also have 4.0 systems here. We have one training room here, traditionally for pneumatic, and we also included some new system here. And as what you can see on the screen, and you can see this data is live, and we're using Node-RED programming to program on a PC and pull this live data from the machines so that managers, directors, the bosses of the company, they can see the data movement of the machine. And from there, they can better understand what's going on with the machines. Yeah, let me fast forward. And this is the Industry 4.0 enabled training systems we have already upgraded so that the workers from the industry, when they come, they know exactly how the technology is actually applied on the equipment. This is the CP factory, the cyber physical factory, which Mr. Ng has shown just now. Yeah, so we have the MES and also the Saros software here, software digital twin, and we have a mobile robotic over here to move the products from one place to another. And also we have this training room with the smart sensor kit here so that we can teach the topics on the smart sensor. Yeah. So to summarize, basically we are offering training curriculums in the hybrid version with a blended learning environment. Yeah. So that's all from my side. Yeah. Back to you, Dr. Umar.
Thank you, Mr. Fou and Mr. Ng, for sharing, your learning process. So I have a question. So how is it like, for institutions, how are they collaborating with you all, to use the learning system? How does it work?
Sorry, Dr. Umar, can you repeat your questions? Yeah, I lost you just now.
Okay, so my question is, Festo already has all these learning materials, you all have done all the hard work behind it, My question is, how can institutions collaborate with you all? How does it work usually? Like how many students are allowed to, take the courses, or are they allowed to take, according to the modules which are related to the courses that they're learning? So how does it work? I mean, how do you take it from here? That's my question.
Okay. Basically, we adopt the ecosystems. We are trying to see as much as possible what kind of collaborations model that we can have with that particular institutions, and we will see whatever is already available at the institutions, and we will see what are the gaps that they have, and from here we can go into the discussions how much we can complement to the existing curriculum they already have. And from there, we will see if they already have the hardware, we can come in to complement with the courseware that we already have, and how to redesign, not completely throw away the old one, because Industry 4.0 is riding on the mechatronic systems. And from there, we will see how to make it a little bit more industry relevant, how to include the practical part into the whole discussions. Yeah, Swee Min, you want to add in?
Yes. And of course, for example, for the institute would like to know more about Festo, how actually cooperate each other. Normally, when we do the meeting, we try to understand what is the topic and requirement of the institute. Right? For example, for particular course, what topic you actually want to cover. Then only we come in, we propose the right equipment for you, and with to ensure those equipment are suitable for you, cover the topics that you want. I think the important is the topic, not so much for the equipment. All right, the equipment should assist you to put the topic, to cover all your topics, not because of we already have an equipment, then you only try to figure out how actually this equipment to help you on that. It's the other way around. And I also see a question here in the chat box. Is there any courses that related to wood timber and furniture technology. I would say that because the courses we are doing is actually general courses like industrial automation, right? So it's cover PLC, pneumatics, and hydraulics. So as long as related to these things, for example, I'm sure that wood, timber, and furniture is still use pneumatics, some maybe some hydraulic and PLC. That will be related to you. All right. So not so much of the process because it's not possible for us to cover a process for the each sector. Because for example, pneumatic technology is been used in a lot of industry. For example, like F&B, semicon, woodworking, process automation. But the principle will be the same. Only specific process to produce the specific product are different. So should you have a concept or you really learn all the pneumatic technology, all those things, it's easier for you to pick up and to put in practice in your working environment. For example, should you join a woodworking process, the process could be different, but I think the technology behind are still the same. That is what we try to achieve because it's not possible for us to cover every sector. But I think the core technology there is actually important for us to pick up from there. Okay. Any question from the floor?
Okay, so there's a question. So let's say I'm teaching PLC, which is a killer subject in the Polytechnic, for example. I'm actually not from the engineering background. So how do I actually encourage my students to actually use the simulations and also I work with you all, so I get so I can actually use your learning resources as part of my teaching and learning. So that's how it works with other institutions as well. How do the instructors do it at their institutions? Can they pick and choose certain modules? Can they pick and choose certain modules only?
You mean the student choose the topic that they want to know?
Yes.
Via teaching or via web-based training?
Web-based, something online, web-based. So because you all are based in Singapore, for example, and then so we want to do it web-based. So can they just pick and choose certain, or just to get that simulation, just want to embed that 4IR into a classroom, but starting at a very small level. Is that doable? Do other people do that as well?
Because if you look at the Festo LX, it's actually designed in a way that you can actually customize your content based on the competency of the student and also interest and the requirement of the student. You don't have to follow all exactly the module. You can actually pick and choose and customize. Even you can customize your own content. You put your own content inside to embed it and put everything assigned to the student. Is that flexible? You don't have to go through module 1, module 2. You can actually pick the content for module 1 and module 2 and you combine and customize your own content.
So Mr. Fou, can you share how one component of LX, how does can you just we have another 7 minutes, very short time, but can you just walk through how would the instructor actually assign the task to the students and how would they, just a walkthrough of the learning system?
Can I answer these questions?
Yes, Mr. Fou.
Okay. So basically, in the LX environment, all the learning courses are actually made up of nuggets. So we call it a learning nugget. So it could be potentially the PLC courses actually made up of let's say 100 nuggets. And from the nuggets, you can choose whatever you want to learn. You can go right into the nugget and learn that particular topic only. All right, as a student. As a lecturers, I can choose, let's say, 2 nuggets from this PLC, another 2 learning nuggets from pneumatic, another 2 learning nuggets from smart sensor, and I form another new course. And this new course, it could be just 2 hours. And this new course is actually 2 hours, made up of 6 nuggets from PLC, 2 from smart sensor, 2 from pneumatics. And when this new course is generated, you can assign this new course to the students that you want them to learn. And the students will get the email notifications, and when they log in, they will only be able to see those courses assigned to him. Yeah. Have I answered the questions? Yeah.
Yes. Now it's clear. It's clear for me.
Yeah.
So the multimedia materials in your learning system would be simulations, videos, and then they're also text based, correct? Text based.
Yeah, correct. Of course,
You can also give the marks for the assignment and everything. So it's like a complete learning management system. Like you can track whether the student completed, how much have they completed, everything can be done.
yes, correct. It is a kind of a learning management systems, and that can also be exported to the existing learning management systems of the school via LTI, the Learning Tools Interoperability, so that whatever course content can be transported across to the existing LMS. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So I'll just give a few more questions. There's one question. Okay, they're asking whether you all have problems with budgets, equipments, and skills. And how does your team go through that? Do you all have problems with budgeting?
Do you mean the budgeting from the institute?
Yeah, maybe it's on the institute. Yeah.
But I think normally that's important that as I mentioned before, the first thing before you actually purchase equipment, you have to know what topic you want to cover. All right. So let's say, for example, you want to cover specific topic, you don't need to buy, the big equipment. You just get the equipment just suitable to fit your requirement. So for the budget wise, you actually can control it rather than everything I put in I give you the best equipment for you, but somehow you only need to cover 10% of the topics. So important thing is the first thing you really have to know what topic you want to achieve with those equipment. Then we can design propose accordingly based on these topics and also based on this budget. That's normally we do. All right.
So I guess that's all. There are no questions from the audience. So maybe a wrap up from Mr. Ng and then followed by Mr. Fou. Maybe just a wrap up.
So actually, this is what we offer in Industry 4. Of course, there's much more from us can do it in support you in TVETs, and do contact us should you need any assistance. If you're not really comfortable to voice up here, you actually can. I put my email there. You can actually call me as well, so we can actually visit your school institute and see what we can collaborate from there. All right.
Yeah, just from my side, basically we just need to have open discussions exactly to understand what are the learning gaps that you want. Then from there we can take the next step. What can we do in order to fulfill those gaps? Yeah.
So, Mr. Fou and Mr. Ng, on behalf of the Department of Polytechnic and Community College Education, I just want to say thank you for spending time with us and showing us the potential of using technology for teaching and learning to improve for our skills. And so it's actually possible for us to embed 4IR into teaching and learning to prepare our graduates. All right, so we'll now go for a break, and I'll see you all at 10:30 with our next speaker, Associate Professor Dr. Kata bin Jabo from University Technology Malaysia UTM, with his topic on enhancing industrial experience for industry changes due to Industry 4.0. And tomorrow, I also want to thank Mr. Fou and Mr. Ng, especially Festo, for also helping out with another slot. As I mentioned earlier, at 2:30 tomorrow, we are going to have Beer Boss Mr. Walker Schmidt, the head of Asia Pacific for Festo Didactic Southeast Asia, with his topic upgrading specific technical competencies for industry changes due to Industry 4.0, which I believe is very relevant to our lecturers at Malaysian Polytechnics and community colleges. So thank you so much. Hope to see you all again and hope to collaborate with you all in the future. Thank you again.
Thank
Thank you very much.
you.
Thank you, Dr. Umar.
Thanks for having us, and thank you, everybody.